Hey, what's up? Welcome to In the Zone. Dave Delgado here with Bob Bucek. We're talking motocross racing, the track, Smokin Wheels, everything going down, anything and everything about motocross racing. Welcome to the show. First off, man, going way back, I remember back in the day, you and your station wagon.
All right. I wasn't that way back. That was way back up here at the Gigo track. You want to go way back, you got to go all the way back to Windward Hills. I'm kind of dating myself there. But yeah, I had this big, oh my God, big Buick station wagon. They called it the Sensei. It was called the Roadmaster. The thing was like almost a limo station wagon, and we used to autocross it. It was the biggest car out there. It was probably about size of the three of their cars, and we used to drift it around and slide it sideways, and basically it was so heavy the tires would roll underneath the rim, and I'd almost be a metal on. That's how I'd have to do the tires. Would literally come on, be on the metal and sliding and digging up pavement. That's a good time.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the places you've raced throughout your career here on island.
Almost every single village we've had a race. We've had races in Dedido, Gigo, Astumbo, Jonia, Telefofo, every village you can think of. You know, Gematic for sure. Where Gematic's a normal place for us to go. It's an annual event for the Guam Heritage event. Johnny Kanata, the mayor down there, has invited us back this year. We'll be there on Saturday, the 23rd of March, 9 a.m. riders meeting, and then we'll have the racing starting shortly after that. And then following weekend, March 3rd, we'll be there again, 9 a.m. That'll be a Sunday though. And yeah, we really appreciate him inviting us down, and all the people of Mayor, all the people of Yamatic. It's a good time. I mean, we love going down there. It's a beautiful village.
Yeah, and the setting there, like you said, you overlook the track. Families are posted up with all their pop-up tents. You see all the four-wheelers and ATVs and motocross bikes lined up. But you guys have pretty much a lot of fun down there. It's
a blast. It's an absolute blast when we go down there. We look forward to it all year long, and then when we leave, we almost have a tear in our eyes as we're leaving that evening, because they put on a big production for us. We get up on stage, the kids go up on stage, they're treated like royalty. They get their awards from the mayor and everything, and you know, it's just a festival. It's a carnival down there. Everybody should come down there for it. I mean, not just for the motocross races, for the carnival itself. They have jet ski races, all kinds of stuff going on those weekends, and you know, it's a good way to celebrate, you know, Guam Heritage weekend or week. And it's also just a fun thing to bring the parents, the family to, the kids and everything else. It's a lot to do. You know, food, rides, racing action, you name it, it's all there.
Let's talk about the events you competed. I know you do the ATV portion, motocross, but sum it up for us, your racing career and all the events you've competed in.
Wow, all the events? How long is this show? Well, I started back in the 70s out at the Guam International Raceway. We called it the International Track back then. I think the name changed throughout the years. They called it the flagpole track and stuff like that when we stopped racing there. But the Guam International Race, or at the International Track up in Windward Hills, started racing out there. And next to that track, we had the flat track. That's where the Smokin Wheels was always held. So did my first Smokin Wheels in '79. Had a partner named Marco Romo. We're a couple of kids that went to Simon Sanchez High School, and we borrowed our friend's Troy Smith's motorcycle, and we had a really good time. It was a real mud fest that weekend, and I still remember that to this day. The mud, we were encased in mud, and you know, of course, both families, my family and his family, were out there, and it was just a great weekend, and we were hooked ever since, or I've been hooked ever since.
Any off-island racing that you've taken part in?
Yeah, I raced professionally in Japan for several years. I did a Supercross series over there, which was only 3 races. One of the races actually included the Guam Smokin Wheels Supercross race when it was up at the Windward Hills, and I won that 2 years in a row. And also an endurance series, which was only 2 races, which included one with Smokin Wheels and one was on a beach race in Japan. And my teammate and I, Robbie Crisostomo, we won that championship. And then in the motocross category, which was it ranged anywhere from 8 to 10 rounds per year, and I came in third place overall at the end of the series. I won several races and stuff like that, but I had some mechanical issues in both years. And traveling over there, you know, at least on the average once a month to practice and to race was fun. I didn't have to work for a living for several years, and all I had to do was hop on a plane, go race, come back to Guam, go practice, race here on Guam when there weren't any races in Japan. Just go back and forth. It was a fun time of life. Just ride my mountain bike and train all the time, and you know, felt like a real athlete. You know?
Any track that stands out most to you as a competitor?
Yeah. There were several races in the Guam International, the international track of Windward Hills was a very special track because it was a real big track. Marty Tripes and all these big stars from the States had come to Guam. They rated it one of the top racetracks they'd ever ridden on, and it really was a special track. The other one that I really liked was Suzuka Circuit in Japan. The motocross track there was very special to me. Got knocked out unconscious there a couple of times by overdoing it. But it was very special to me. And the other one was, it's actually not a course, it was the course, but it changes every year. And that was the 1989 Baja 1000 in Mexico on the Baja Peninsula. I went over there with Peter Marking and Roberto Pitter. We were Team Guam, and we ended up getting second place in class in riding an ATV, 1,089 actual miles on one ATV. Of course, there were 3 riders. You know, we take turns doing a section. It started out in Ensenada and went all the way down to La Paz, and that was very special to me. And Roberto Pitter and I, Roberto still races, and his daughter and his son race now also, and we reminisce about that all the time. We always break into big ear-to-ear smiles when we talk about the Baja. It was special.
And you know, one of our local racers, Sean Leponovich, turned pro.
Yes.
Guam racer, a guy that, you know, his family sent him out to, was it Florida for racing and stuff like that?
Actually, no. They moved to Hawaii, and he had the bug on Guam. The Chrysostomos got him into the sport. I believe that's his Nino or his uncle. They got him out to the racetrack. I think he raced at Pneumatic a couple of times, and out at the Guam International Raceway in Jigo. And they moved to Hawaii. He continued his racing there, and he showed a real talent and knack for it. And they moved him out to Millsap's training grounds, which is located in Georgia. And he actually lived there at the compound and did his, I guess, schooling and everything, and then trained every single day, and did the mini bike circuit and the amateur circuit and stuff like that. And then went pro. He did some races in Brazil. I believe he won some races in Brazil as a pro. And now he has his own school in California, training people that come from all over the world how to race motocross and how to ride bikes. He's really proficient at it, really well respected. And he also does, if you ever open up the dirt bike magazines or the motocross action magazines, he's usually the test rider for these bikes. The manufacturers hire him, or the magazines hire him to go out and test it. They'll do like a 250 shootout. Well, they have every single brand of the 250 brand or 450 motorcycles. He's the guy that goes out and test rides them, and then he asks his opinion and stuff. So his pictures are everywhere. He made it good. He did really well. And
it's great for local kids out here because when he comes back, he holds clinics. And
and it's for free too.
Yeah,
he does free. He just comes out here and does clinics for the kids, and not just for the kids, for the older guys too. And you can never stop learning. But yeah, he does it all for free.
Yeah. Other kids out here with potential, G.R. Cepeda, who are some other young riders that come to mind that if they stick with it and continue to race and put in the time on the course, could have the potential of hopefully, you know, representing Guam or even one day going pro.
Right off the bat, right now, our youngest couple of riders that I can think of is one is he's third generation, and his name is John Uggan. His dad, we used to call him Little John because he was the littlest one because his dad, you know, his dad raced. So that's 3 generations. So you had Big John, and you had Little John. Now we're calling him Johnny Uggan, Little Johnny Uggan. They just keep getting smaller and smaller. Little John he's in the 50cc class. He's incredibly fast. He's gutsy. He's been on a bike since he was probably 2 years old, 3 years old, since he could walk. Very talented rider. And the other one is Richard Wendon. He rides a 65cc class machine. His dad is a champion here in Guam. He's the reigning champion, Tim Wendon, in the open motorcycle and 250cc class division. But his son Richard is amazing. He's riding a 65cc class. He doesn't even race it in the 65cc class anymore. He races it in the open mini bike class. He has the smallest bike in the open mini bike class, and he hangs with the big boys. He's hanging with the Lawrence Limpiakos and the Wyatt Santoses and those guys. He's right up there with them on a 65.
Yeah, and you put a lot of time in it, in the track. You guys always prep it for races, Smokin Wheels, and stuff like that. But congratulations on the extended lease at the Raceway track.
Oh, yes. Thank you, all you Senators. Thank you for your support, everybody that came out.
Anything in the works as far as maybe adding more obstacles to the racetrack?
Oh, we're continuously building out there. The track changes all the time. We got a Fleet Services and Pacific Trucking and all them, and we really got to give them a big thing. They've been bringing us mulch. They have this big mulch processing. I guess they chew up all the green waste and stuff like that. Trees, stumps, pallets, whatever. Then they have the magnets that pull the nails out of the stuff. So we got these mountains of mulch out there, and we're mixing it with the red dirt, and it's really made it more of a cushiony ride out there, more loam. I like to call it loamy, but it's like a cross between riding on hard clay and sand, and the turns build up nicely. You get these nice lines and berms in them, and it's been a real blessing, and we really got to thank them for giving it to us free of charge. They're trucking it out there free of charge. And it's just our responsibility now to get some red dirt to keep mixing it in. That's been the challenge, is getting the good rockless red dirt out there, and to keep building up the track. But yeah, we're constantly building up the track for the motocross side and all the other sides too.
This year's Smokin Wheels event set for April.
Yes, April 12th through the 15th to the APL Smokin Wheels weekend.
And always starts off with Friday night drags.
Yes.
Enduro race. Let's talk about some of those events that these riders really look forward to.
They look forward to almost every single one of them. I mean, there's so much going on. You got the drag racing, you got drifting, most years you have autocross, and the big one is, the mud drags. The mud drags is just, people go crazy for the mud drags. It's like a festival. People are just out there going crazy.
The last time they had that, they had all the Jeeps come out.
Yeah.
And they had a show for cleanest Jeep. And so you see these Jeeps detailed out.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Jeep
man,
jungle. Yeah, that's another event. That's a completely different event. Yeah,
and I'm looking at them there, and I'm like, man, that's a nice Jeeps, all set up, super clean. And then right after the guy places, he takes it through the mud drags, and I'm like, man, I'm heartbroken right now. I'm like, I said, why would you do that?
As long as you just take plenty of pictures, and then you got to go have some fun. That's what those Jeeps are made for, and that's what they're designed for. I mean, and then you can use that SC1 stuff you spray on it. Cycles Plus sells this stuff that you can spray all over your motorcycles and your Jeeps and stuff like that. And it's almost like Rain-X. You put a Rain-X on your window and the water just kind of goes off in the wind. Well, that's what this SC1 stuff does. You can get it at Cycles Plus. It's really good stuff. And I highly recommend that SC1. If you're going to go out on a muddy day, get some SC1 and spray your whole car down. Don't spray your windows, but spray the rest of the car down.
And Smokin Wheels, we always get a big Japan contingent of racers. Who can we expect at this year's race?
Well, I believe the Stewarts are coming. Malcolm Stewart and his son Alexander are coming back out. Those were a couple of names that were dropped, but there's been a whole bunch of names that are always constantly being dropped. We have our riders from the Philippines. We're hoping that the Aguilars and stuff like that, which I'm hoping will come back out because they're on the motocross side. ATV side. You got all those Japanese riders that are more than a handful for us local riders to race against. We love it, and they also come out with a whole bunch of off-road buggy riders. And I believe there's also a couple of drifters from Japan that come over, and it's a full-on weekend of racers usually from the Philippines, from Japan, from all over there, Australia, the United States, all over.
And do they
Hawaii.
Do they use Smokin Wheels as a qualifying race for them?
Actually, it's not a qualifier for Japan. the Japan All-Terrain Vehicle Association, the one that I raced back in the day as a pro. One of their races, just like back in the day with the endurance, with the Supercross, is actually a points earning round, championship points earning round. Now it's extended into their premier racing class, which is the motocross side. Which back in the day I finished third in both years that I was out there. Never won that championship, but did win a couple of races. But yeah, it's actually a points earning round. They come over here, they race, they're getting points. They're actually getting points towards their championship when they come and race here on Guam.
And the enduro race, it's one of the biggest races. And man, you talk about the trucks and rides that they build just for this specific race. Some well over $100,000.
Yes. Oh yeah, well over. Very expensive vehicles. And sometimes this is the only event that they're using it in. These guys, this is a big major event. This is, we grew up with it. So to us, it's like, here comes Smokin Wheels again. Yeah, we're gonna go and check it out. But to them, this is a huge event in Japan. This Guam Smokin Wheels is a big event. And they spend a lot of money to get here, a lot of money to build these cars to get them here, and a lot of money while they're here to be here. And we appreciate it, and they put on a good show for us. And yeah, I mean, it's big time. The off-road, Smokin Wheels started off as the endurance. That's what it was. Wasn't a motocross race, wasn't a supercross race, wasn't a mud bog, wasn't go-kart racing, wasn't any drifting or anything like that. Back in the day, 78, it was all about the endurance, about off-road buggy endurance and motorcycle endurance. That's it. Team event for the motorcycles, buggies, whatever you wanted to make it. Back in those days, most of the vehicles were all home built. You made them yourself. You got yourself an old Datsun V210, like the guys over at Guam Automotive Clinic did back in the day. And you modified it and made it, and you took it out on the dirt and you raced it, and that's what all the different shops did. They all put out a little buggy and got one of their mechanics out there to race it, and good time. That's where it started from. And then Japan started coming over. The states started, drivers from the states started coming over with Rick Mears, Malcolm Stewart, and later on back when Dave Eckert was running the Smokin Wheels, he brought all drivers from all over the place over here. We had Jerry Welcho, we had Walker Evans, we had all these big name stars that you watch on TV and the Mickey Thompson events. They were here on Guam Racing, and they were exciting times, and it's been building ever since, and we're proud of it, and the whole island should be proud of it, actually.
Yeah, 1 year straight off the lot, they raced a Raptor.
Yes, a Ford Raptor. That's Triple J, Jay Jones and his brother and dad, Mr. Jones. They took the trip. Now that vehicle, they raced actually several years, and now they got themselves a highly modified. It comes in for the races, and then it goes back to get ready for the next race for out here, and that's another Ford off-road, specially modified for the Smokin Wheels, and they fly in that thing. But yeah, the Ford Raptor has been relegated to my hands.
Yeah,
I am the what they call during the Smokin Wheels the official pace car, and I'm in the Ford Raptor. So whenever we go yellow, and you see that Ford Raptor out there with the blinking lights on the top and the yellow flags in the back, and everybody stacked up behind me, yeah, that's me driving it with a big old smirk on my face, going, yeah, 5 miles per hour, buddies.
Yeah. Any tricks of the trade for optimal performance for you as a rider?
For me as a rider, it's to me, it's just stay positive. Whether it's raining, when it's hot and dry and with no wind at all and dusty and everybody's complaining and there's a soap opera going on, phase it out, stay positive, be happy, and it'll come your way. It's sometimes you just got to sit and be patient. Don't let it get to you. Remember, you're out here to have fun, to have a good time. Don't let it all drag you down, and stay focused, concentrate, have fun. That's the best tip I can give anybody. Enjoy yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself, go surfing.
Yeah. Any pre-race rituals you do heading into the race?
Yeah, I have. I have to put my hands in my glove a certain way. I can't go right to left or left to right. There's a certain way. I'm not going to say how I do it. And with my boots, there's a certain way that when I put my boots on, how I drop down to my knee and which foot I put in my boot first. Also, I have a lot of suit. You know, I guess when you're in the games as long as I have been, you're going to have your injuries. And because of all these injuries, you start getting, you know, very superstitious about things and ridiculously superstitious. I've had this Cycles Plus LTR 450 Suzuki since 2009. It's the same machine, and to this day, no one has been allowed to ride it but me. Once somebody rides it, it's like, that's it, now it's jinx.
Yeah.
Because it seems like in the past, every time I've let somebody ride my machine, it's either broken down or I've gotten hurt. Same thing with my helmet. If somebody sticks their head in my helmet, I'm running off to Dennis Canonis at Cycles Plus and going, I need to buy myself a new helmet. Yeah. You got any smalls? Because I have a small head. Although, listening to me talk today, you think my head was this huge.
Any award that you've won that you just constantly, even to this day, you look back on and say, this was the race?
Yeah, I believe it was in 91. 1991, I was going through some personal issues, and God, it's gonna sound a little funny, but I had a little thing going on, and I had a Smokin Wheels weekend out at the track up in Windward Hills. It's probably 1991. I'm pretty sure it could have been 1990. I think it was 91 though. It had to have been 91, possibly 92. God, but like out there, Friday was practice. I'm out there practicing, and come off the track, and my truck is not brand new truck. This was a few years old already, but I was still making payments on it. And the problem was I wasn't making the payments on time and quick enough. They knew where to find me. They knew where to find the truck. But my truck was repoed, and I needed quite a bit of money to get it unrepoed. So I had that motive. You know, back then Dave Eckert was running a race, and payouts were pretty good for winning. So I had 3 events I was going to be in. I was going to be in Supercross, which was 2 heats, flat track, 2 heats, and then the 2-hour enduro. And all 3 events for the weekend for me. And started off with the, I believe we started off with the enduro that year. And I won that, came in first. That later on that afternoon was actually Supercross. I won both heats, so I won the overall in that. And then the next day was the flat track. That was the final event. And I won both those heats. So I swept the whole entire Smokin Wheels events in the pro category for the Open ATV. And that was going against riders such as Charlie Shepard. I think Charlie Shepard was here. It was either Charlie Shepard or Gary Dent from the States. At the time, they were reigning champions in the States, so I beat them. And then the #1 guys in Japan, the reigning champs of Japan. So there was a magazine out here. It was called Dirt Wheels and 3 and 4 Wheel Action. And they featured me in the magazine and everything, both magazines. And yeah, so that was a year that was very special to me. Made enough money to go try to get my truck back, and ended up not getting the truck back.
Did you get another truck?
Had a really good time with that money, though. I'm telling you, man. Woo! We partied.
Yeah, partied out. Forgot about the truck. Do you still see a lot of familiar faces out there on the track that just pop up every once in a blue moon?
Yeah, we do. I mean, that's one thing about the racing. Well, one thing about Guam. You run into a lot of your kids that you raced with, and when you were younger, they come back out. Sometimes you're racing with them for years, and when they turn 16 years old, they get a driver's license or they get a girlfriend. All of a sudden, they drop out of racing, and then right after that, maybe it's college or marriage and then raising kids and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, they get to a point in their life where maybe they're in their late 30s, early 40s. Kids are old enough now, and they've got the time, they've got the career with the money. They buy themselves a dirt bike, or they buy themselves an ATV, and sure enough, they come out to the track. And, hey, Bob, usually I get a text or something. Hey, Bob, the track open? Who is this? This is Joe, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, man, how you been? Yeah, I got myself a bike. I want to come out and try it out and ride at the track. Yeah, come on out. And then we'll get out there, and, they'll do like 2 laps, which takes 5 minutes. And then for the other 2 hours, we're just sitting there talking old stories and having a good time. And then before you know it, he's out there, his kids are out there racing, and you know, it just kind of, they come back out, and then all of a sudden they're getting their younger children involved and stuff like that. And it's pretty neat. Racing is a family sport here on Guam. It's not about how much money you make or anything like that. It's about having fun and having a good time.
All right, real quick, I want to say congratulations. Your daughter got married last month.
Yes. Yeah, my oldest daughter, Kiara, she came all the way, she grew up here in Guam. She's a racer also. And she joined the Air Force, became an air traffic controller, met a man, his name's Matthew. And they've been together a few years. He brought his entire family out here. They got a couple of Airbnb places down in Agate for the whole family, and spent a couple of weeks out here, getting to know us, getting to know Guam. And she got married out here down at the Lottie Chapel down in Tumon. Beautiful day, beautiful ceremony. She got me this hat because she figured the surf was going to be good when she shows up, and I'd be missing some good surf. So that's what this hat's all about. And missing some good surf for this. I was supposed to actually wear this at the wedding, but of course I didn't. I cried like a little baby at the wedding. But yeah, thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter Kiara is married, and also it is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's, honey. Love you and miss you. I know you had to get off to work early this morning, but was thinking about cooking you breakfast. Sorry I didn't get out of bed.
Yeah,
Maybe tomorrow.
I'm gonna jump in on that too. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. I want to say hi to my daughter Luna. Love you too. Daddy's gonna be home soon, but hey, appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Dad.
And don't forget, you can catch me every Thursday 9 in the morning live on Facebook.